I do have one last question for the City lads. And Erling Haaland has scored 10 out of City's 13 goals this season. Is that a stat that concerns you at all? Is it a lack of goals from other players? Or is it just the fact that Haaland is that good?
Yeah, it's both good and bad depending on what way you look at it. Obviously, having the best striker in Europe is a pretty nice positive to have, but it does
Yeah,
tell you
that's
as
good.
well if something happens to him or if we have a, God forbid, another Rodri situation, we're in trouble because we don't have another goal scorer like Erling Haaland. Even Julian Alvarez, who was brilliant for us, was not an adequate replacement for what Haaland gives us. So
Yeah.
realistically, what you're looking at if Holland's unavailable is you're looking at a false nine, someone like what Oscar Bob would have done, which is filling that role in the middle. You're probably looking at like a Savinio or maybe Gundogan playing in a false nine again, although he doesn't quite have the legs to do it anymore. So, long story short, to answer your question, we're pretty much in trouble if something did happen to Holland. But for the moment, I'm just enjoying the vibes because we don't have that many at the moment.
You've got more than this.
I've already sent him a poisoned pie, Michael. Don't worry. The pie with something nasty in it, addressed to Erling at the City
Another
Hotel.
lasagna gate, won't it? Yeah.
Yeah. By the
You
way,
do know
now if
that
he's out with illness,
you did read that Erling Haaland scoring that 10th goal, he became the fastest man to 10 goals in a Premier League season, taking the record from the iconic Mickey Quinn. He's held the record before that. Did you
It's
know that,
actually
Michael? That
I
took me
saw Mickey
back.
Quinn tweet about it, but
I
that's it.
saw
I didn't
Mickey
know before
Quinn's
then.
tweet. It was very funny.
Yeah,
But
what can you
the
do?
reason I mention Haaland is, and this is probably going to sound horrible after he scores a hat-trick at the weekend, but he actually only has one goal in 4 games against Newcastle, and it's the worst he has against any team at a domestic level since moving to Dortmund. The only team
What have
that's
you said
performed
that
better
for?
than him, because I tempt fate, and I love it. I live on the wild side, Ian. But yeah,
Oh,
the only
blimey.
team he's performed worse against, goals wise, is Real Madrid, where he's played 4 and not scored. So, on that note, me tempting fate and living on the wild side, we're going to go to our third part after a word from the Global Sports Podcast Network.
This podcast is part of the Global